Welcome back to Stage Dive. I am very proud to announce that we have a special limited series coming at you for the month of August this year. I'm hosting and producing a show called The Making of Denver Legends at your mom's house on September 1st, right here in the city. And we have 5 amazing artists who are performing with me. We have Ason Yugen, Binta Zang, ReSrface, Ego and Friends, and Malcolm Wise. As I do in the podcast, it was really important to me that I share the stories of these artists before I got them together on stage to actually perform. And so I sat down and I interviewed each one of them. And just like all of our guests, they were insightful, they were thoughtful, and there's so much beautiful texture to their lives and to their journeys that we don't get to see until we take the time to ask these questions. So I'm so excited to share their stories with you. I'm so excited that I got to sit down with them. And most importantly, I'm excited for you to get to hear these stories and then come to see them perform on September 1st. Pa.
First question, pizza or tacos?
I'm gluten-free.
So corn
tacos.
Tortillas?
Or gluten-free pizza, because I really, really like gluten-free pizza.
Okay.
Yeah, that's been one of my favorite things since moving here.
Do you have a favorite spot?
Yeah, White Pie.
Okay.
White Pie, and then there was this other place in the mountains somewhere, I forget, but it was on the way to like some hot springs I went to with a girlfriend at the time, and then we went to a pizza place and they had really good gluten-free crust.
Nice.
So it's rare. It's rare to find it.
I was going to say that, yeah, you can't go in expecting treasure. You
No.
got to go in expecting like, I'll eat this if I have to.
It's going to be mid at like the lowest at a restaurant.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my life.
That's how it be. What emoji do you use the most?
Ooh, I like that. I've been using the cry smile one. Has anyone said that?
No, but
Is that
I
you?
fucking adore that one.
Yeah, I've been using that one a lot. And then the devil emoji when I'm like, we're working, So those are the main two I use. But yeah, the cry smile one is probably my most used.
That's awesome. That's awesome. What's a movie you could watch like 1,000 times and never get sick of?
School of Rock.
Okay. Beautiful. The speed you had that like holstered is fucking amazing. Like, what about that movie? I also adore it, but I'm just curious.
Yeah, so you see, okay, so I think I've identified with it more than I actually like it, but that movie's dope because it's what you wanted out of high school in a way, where it's just like one cool music teacher breaking you out of like the normal music mold and being like, let's fucking do something, like let's make some rock music, you know what I mean? So I grew up watching that movie. I know like we could watch it together and I'll say every line.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my God. What is the most embarrassing fashion trend you've ever taken part in?
Ripped skinny jeans for sure was rough. Those checkered Vans, bro. I can't do the checkered Vans. I can't do maroon skinny jeans. It's just like so overplayed. Maroon skinny jeans, black shirt. Can't do it.
Yep.
Can't do it. Checkered Vans, yeah. What other? Flat build caps never looked good on me. Yeah. I think it's because I'm not into sports, so there's like no reason to wear a flat build cap.
Yep.
Yeah. But it depends on your face shape, so no shade. I know my boy ReSrface sells some really good flat build caps, so.
For all of those with the appropriately shaped head,
exactly.
You get out there and you buy some.
Perfect, yeah.
Amazing. So when did you start making music?
I started in 5th grade. Like I got a guitar. It's because my best friend's older brother played guitar and he was always this cool dude. He stopped playing, but I was like, damn, I want to be just like him. So I picked up the guitar and fell in love with it and have been like writing since like 7th grade. So yeah, for a while.
Yeah, a long time.
For like my music that sounds like it does now, I've been producing and like doing more rap shit since like 2018.
Cool.
So that I'm kind of new to.
What do you feel like has shifted between 2018 and now? Like, how have you evolved as an artist?
Delivery is so much better. Like, that's the biggest thing I think everybody could say about themselves is like, especially with hip hop, it takes so much time to get like to find your voice for one, and then 2, to find that like delivery that's like really palatable to the masses. And I think like it's not so much about the people listening, but you find your sound that feels, I don't know, I sounded so corny when I started. So like trying to break out of it. Yeah, everyone does. And so like breaking out of that took a really long time. So that's the biggest thing I think that's changed. And then also I think like back then around 2018, I was like writing a lot more verse, chorus, maybe bridge, chorus type music.
Yep.
And my arrangements are so like detached from anything right now, and that's what I'm really happy with. I like being like having crazy sections, A, B, maybe a part 1, part 2, you know, that's all fun. So
super cool. Was there like a particular song that you remember writing or performing where you felt like you realized like, oh shit, like I'm finding my delivery, or like this feels so different than what it used to feel like?
Oh my God. My album, so I made this album. It's under Ego, not Ego and Friends. It's like old 2018, 2020. Maybe, no, it's 2020. It was called Momentum. And in that album, I think I found the beginning of what I wanted to sound like, which like I think all of my music before that was a lot more emulating like certain artists. This was like the first time where I was like I love producing weird stuff, singing on it, and then like harmonies are important, and then like rap singing. I had all of that in that album. And every time I like try new stuff, I'll like slowly come out of that momentum vibe or whatever, and then eventually over time I'll always return back to that vibe. So I'm seeing myself right now return to that vibe as of the last like 2 weeks or so. Yeah.
Does that feel like travel? Like you go somewhere, you pick up something and you bring it back to that core? Or do you feel like you go experiment and you're like, nope, that wasn't it, and you come back to the core?
I never thought about it like that. Yeah, it does kind of feel like travel. It feels like time travel almost. Like you're like when I'm going back to the like core sounds that make me, I'm returning to very similar melodies and shit too. And I love the psychology of music. So I'm kind of seeing, or I feel like there's a couple melodies that every artist kind of returns to, especially singers and maybe instrumentalists. Like there's a couple melodies that are so driven in your soul, and that could come from like what you listened to as a kid. That can come from all sorts of stuff. So like whatever your influences were, and like that will just keep returning you back to your core as you grow as an artist. So I have a couple melodies like that I just like return to every single time on guitar and singing, and I need a break from those, but like I realize those are who I am too in a weird way.
Yeah. That's super interesting. So when did the Ego and Friends shift start or happen?
Ooh, I love that. That started in January of 2020.
Just before pandemic?
2021.
Okay.
January 2021. Okay. Yeah, Ego and Friends started then. And the way it started was I realized like I already have so much collaboration in my music. Like a big influence, I hate saying this too, but like a big influence of mine is Chance the Rapper, especially in his marketing sense when he blew up.
Okay.
Because when he blew up, there were so many songs on SoundCloud that he featured in, so many like mid songs that like he was just fire on, but like, so he just cultivated so many different audiences at that time. So and then he also did a really dope thing of having no label and being able to kind of like hire his own people and create like a big collaboration team. So like it's not just him, it's a whole like group of friends that like came together to support this vision. And I realized, you know, that's part of my musical approach to things. So I decided in 2021 for a year I'm gonna release only collaborations. And the second song I released, which was Lose All Control, blew up from that. And it had 4 features on it, and I was like, it's the perfect name. Ego and Friends is way better than just Ego for this song. And it blew up, and that changed my approach entirely. So now I'm like just sticking to Ego and Friends. And I love collaboration, especially when you do the production, mixing, writing on a song. like it's hard to do all of that stuff and fully complete like a song, and having another energy come in that like displays their character as an artist is just so fire to add to like a piece.
Yeah. I was thinking about this the other day. I feel like so many people focus on mastery, and actually I think alchemy is the road.
Interesting.
Like to sit there and try and be like, I'm going to be the absolute best. It's like the number of people who can be the absolute best is so fucking small.
Yeah.
The number of people who can make something amazing that resonates with people is fucking infinite if you combine them in the right ways.
And you're the best for you. You know what I mean? You're alchemizing in this case. Like you're alchemizing for like people to listen. The music is for people. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, like I make music for people to listen to.
Yes.
Like I have music that I don't release that's just for me, you know. And like if I'm feeling like bad on a day, I wake up and I'm feeling shitty, whatever, then I play it in the car. You know what I mean? Drive, and then I feel better. And like that's, some of those songs are just for me, but like the songs I release are very much like alchemized for like a larger audience.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And for shows, you know, that kind of thing, like for performing for a big crowd. Like, yeah.
My sense is that like the way you approach live performance has evolved a lot. And and it kind of coincides with this ego and friends mentality I'm imagining. So like, can you talk about what your performances look like now and how that's been shaped over time?
Yeah. Well, I've only been performing like, at least as ego, for like since since March of 2021. Okay. 2021? It's 2023 right now. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's 2022. January. Yeah. Oh, okay. I've only been performing for a little over a year now. So I wouldn't say I'm new to it though, because I performed in high school and all that stuff. But for like a good 3-4 years of my life, I just thought like very for sure that I would not be a performer. I would be just a producer.
So interesting.
Yeah. And then it just shifted after one show, after the first show, which shout out Gray Whitney, Gray Matter. He just gave me a show. Like he was just like open for me at the Aggie Theater. Go right before me. I'm headlining. Literally, I had no shows, bro. Like it was kind of crazy that he even asked me to do this. He just fucked with the music, and he saw my Instagram stories of the new stuff, blah blah blah, and he was like, "Come open like right before me, like direct support as a headliner." He's an EDM artist, so I'm on stage with a mic, which is a big shift. Mm-hmm. And Gray sold like 200 tickets, and I sold maybe 10, and he didn't even sweat it. That's where I know like oh, I learned from that, because when I work with artists that like I'm putting on a show and they sold like 10 tickets and I sold like 50, I'm like, well, Gray sold 200 and Gray's asking me to perform again. That's the craziest part in October. So I'm like, yeah, that first show changed everything for me, because after that I was like, oh, I really like being on stage. Like I like it, I think, more than I like producing. Like, so after that I've been performing. And so it's evolved a lot though, because with So Far, for example, I met you officially at a So Far. I actually saw you at one of the Red Room things. I forget what it was.
Hidden Gem events or whatever?
Yeah. I saw you come in at the very end of one of them. I think it was the one before Ason's show. And I was like, this dude's dope. Like your command over an audience, especially with like it being like a hip hop show mixed with poetry. I always am like scared of that thing for the poets, because there's beats and shit being really loud, and then you have to go on stage and you're like talking.
Fill that silence.
Yeah, and you did that so well. So I was like, this dude is dope immediately. So then when we ran into each other at the So Far show, I thought that was really cool and coincidental. But So Far has made me way more guitar heavy. Like before So Far, I had not brought guitar onto stage, except one time for ReSrface's show, Jesse's show. And he was like, you gotta do it. So he told me to pull up to an open mic and play my guitar. And I was like, fuck, one, I'm scared to do open mics for that in that way. And two, like pulling out the guitar and singing, I haven't done since like 2017. So I was like, all right, I gotta do it though, because he pushes me to be better, and I'm pushing him to be better. So I gotta I gotta actually like make that effort, right? And it turned out really fun, and then I, since that show, have been slowly incorporating guitar. Then So Far came in, changed everything up, Then getting out of doing other shows outside of So Far kind of got more scary for me to like take the guitar off now. So I'm always just trying to go before or switch constantly. Like for this show with like what's it called? Denver Legends, the Denver Legends show. I think I'm gonna like be really right in the middle with some guitar, but like some turn up stuff too.
Cool.
But I'm also like very open to what I'm like feeling that week. Like that week I might just be like, nah, I want to do turn up shit like the whole show. I might just do that. So yeah.
Beautiful.
It depends on who I'm going after and before too. Like that would make the difference.
Totally.
So yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, you've answered this in parts through everything you said, but like, what are you loving about the Denver hip hop scene right now?
Okay. I love that question. The Denver hip hop scene seems very fertile right now. Like I think what I like about just Denver's music scene in general is they're very open to new sounds.
Yes.
I think it's the people. I think it's like the Colorado, like just general audience, like the show goers, like not even the artists themselves yet, but like the show goers are so open to like all sorts of shit. For these So Far shows, like some of these, like the Colorado Springs show, they were not expecting like any rapper like to be on stage. And so I brought Ason up, you know what I mean? And like, so like, I think that the Colorado scene is just very open to new sounds because there hasn't been an established sound. The problem with the Bay hip hop scene is it all like sounds, it's getting homogenized. There's breakthrough artists like Rex Life Raj, Kehlani that like break out all that sound, but the people that are like owning the scene that are staying in the Bay Area right now, which is where I'm from, just so you know, but the people that own the scene sound like the people that owned the scene 5 years ago and 10 years ago. You know what I mean? It's just very like dum 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 dum, like very Moog bass. I get kind of tired of that sound. So why I like Denver is the opposite reason of that, where it's just like so open. It's so open to anything, and I make so much like different shit, like genre wise from each other, that it's like the perfect place for me for sure.
I love that answer. And this next question is decidedly selfish because it's something I wrestle with. How do you think about coming from a different city, one that does have an identity that I'm sure you're still very connected to, but also acknowledging, but I live here, my community is here, and I want to put on for this city. Like, how do you balance
Where are you
those
from?
two? New York.
Oh, okay. Interesting. We both are from places that people are like, this is where you do music, and then you come over here, and you're doing music here. I've never identified with a place. So like, I've never been like, this is my city. Like, cause I've moved around a lot growing up. Like we moved every like 3-4 years. So like, it was just like, I've never identified with a place. Wherever I'm at, I'll always say I'm from the last place I was at. So when I moved, cause we lived in Fort Collins for 3 years, and then I moved back to San Jose, California. And when I was in San Jose after Colorado, I would say I'm from Colorado. Now I go over here and I'm like, I'm from the Bay Area. So never really identified with any place, which has given me kind of a advantage, I feel like, in certain ways, because I don't feel attached, you know what I mean? And I think like if I did feel attached, I'd be more like angry at things and like, why is the city not like accepting or representing me, or I left and I'm doing all these things and I'm not getting seen by Bay people. Like none of that matters to me, I think, because I'm detached from location. Yeah,
that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Are there any parts of your story you wish more people knew?
Yes. So the reason why I didn't see myself as a performing artist but a producer is I was sick with autoimmune disease for like 3-4, well, kind of my whole life, but like it was bad for like 3 years. So I think like 2017 is where it like started to get bad, and I even dropped out of college because of it, and then re-enrolled into another school that was closer to where my parents were at, because I was that sick that I just needed to like leave Chicago. And yeah, and I think like that really like my symptoms were like I would eat food and then I'd break out in hives head to toe, like. And I was just eternally like looked like someone that was allergic to bees that got stung eternally, like for like day to day. Yeah, like hair was falling out, eyebrows were just ripped out. It was bad, bro. It was bad. So, for like, and I'd say I lived like peak bad for like a year and a half. It was pretty bad the whole time. I was reacting from like rice, you know what I mean? Like any simple food. And to this day, I have a very strict diet still, but like, that's why I'm gluten free. So, like that was a really pivotal point in my life, because that was like, it got bad when I was 21, where all of my friends were like ready to party and drink and go out, and I was just sick in bed. Like there was days I couldn't get out of bed. So, that like built my mentality for so long, that made me like feel really alone, which made me value my friends more. I value more people in my life. I like hold people very close, for sure. And that's what made me feel like, oh, I'm not going to be on stage, because I looked not good, you know what I mean? And I looked like my internal feeling was pain, you know? And so like people I'd interact with did not like me, like off the bat, understandably. Like, and so because of that, like I never thought I'd be a performing artist. I thought that was so off the table, even when I started to like heal and stuff like that. It took a really long time, and that was all before I moved here. But I just thought like, I would just be a producer in the background, and I don't need to take any sort of, I wouldn't be in a room like this being filmed. Like all of these things were just like foreign to me, and like still surprising to my mom. Like, so like it's still new to me. So that's I think like the one thing I'm waiting to like, or I'm trying to figure out how to share, and just waiting for the right opportunity to share too.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Thank you for bringing that up.
Thank you for asking.
Of course.
Yeah.
When you allow yourself to dream, and you look at whatever version of making it for you is, like what do you actually see in your mind's eye? Like where are you? Who's there? What kind of things are you doing?
Mansion. Just kidding. Richard Milley. No, I think that's a question that I actually like suck at answering, because I really don't know. Like I think to me it's like, so it's like extreme financial security, in that like insane freedom. I can cancel a show and it doesn't matter, which is hard to eat. Like Drake can't even do that type shit. Like it's a specific kind of success. So like Dave Chappelle's life is very cool to me, because the man just like bikes around cross country, and then when he needs more money or he just wants to like do a little show, he'll just pull up to any venue and they'll be like, oh, cool,
Dave Chappelle's here.
Yeah, he's gonna headline, like
obviously,
no matter who's there. Right. So that's the kind of, I don't know any artists that have a success like that, but that's intriguing to me. Getting to a point where I feel like financially no worries at all, don't need to think about that, and success would also mean the freedom to create whatever music. So that's why labels kind of scare me, is like the freedom to create whatever music speaks to me, and not being burdened by like rules, by like a freedom of music in a way. Like freedom is just something that's been very like intrinsically like important to me, I think. So yeah, that's the answer to that question.
No, it's a great answer. And like, I think what's been so wonderful is like, not a single person has given me like, it's not about the money, it's about the security, it's about the freedom. It's like how I feel when I wake up.
Right.
That feels like the driving motivation way more than like, I want to be a celebrity or I want to be famous or yada, yada, yada.
I think we're all at the age too where like we're past that, like I want that like super nice car just to have it. You know what I mean? Like you sit in some nice cars and you're like, all right, that was cool. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
but that does give me a question, which is like, do you have one stupid thing where you're like, I know it's stupid, but if I had the money, I still want it?
I know. I want, God, if I could probably do this like now, but like if I craft out, I want like a dedicated size of this room kind of space to grow mushrooms, like all kinds of mushrooms, like not just psychedelics, but I grew oyster mushrooms at one point, reishi mushrooms, trumpet mushrooms, and I also think their healing benefits are crazy. Turkey tail is like anti-cancerous, like reishi is like very anxiety calming, lion's mane is fun. It's like it's giving me quantifiable creativity. So like I just love how my brain feels when I like, it's almost like watering the plants, but it's a slightly more complicated, or slightly higher risk of it failing
Mm.
because mushrooms can just like contaminate and then die. Like, but it's just, I don't know, maybe it's attracting me because it's just going to be a humid environment and I'm like Indian and I just like being in that space.
Yep.
But owning a little like mushroom greenhouse would be a cool, like, if I had just $10,000 to drop on some shit that I had to drop right now, it'd be that.
Dope.
Yeah.
That's so good. That's so good. So like different version of that question.
Yeah.
Like you are now passed on, your body is gone, your soul remains. What do you want your legacy to be? How do you want people to remember you?
I want people to remember me as someone that brought people together and someone that like instigated really cool conversation and creative spaces for other people, and help. I care so much more about individual interactions than like masses type things. So I think I would want, like, if I had died, I'd want my friends to value how much I brought circles together, and like my funeral would be like a cool networking event. I was just kidding, but my like I would imagine if I had died, it would be like a cool space where like people that like hadn't talked in a while but had connected very deeply like run into each other again. And I try to cultivate that space by like being super goofy around people, especially a lot of the people that are trying to be cool all the time. Like, break that shit early, because then when I break that shit, they're going to connect with other people in my circle faster. So like we have a stupid laundry list of inside jokes right now, terms, and like all that shit. And it's interesting because I'll do things like, I'll say like, have you been to the quad, to like the homies in Indiana? And when they pull up over here, they're saying the same shit that my friends in Denver are saying, and they're vibing off the same inside joke. So I think like a lot of my like life purpose is like connecting like good artists that are also good people at their core together. I think that's what I want to be like known for sure. That's my legacy.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Last question. Is there anything that's been on your heart, on your mind, just something that's been bubbling inside you that you've just have a desire to share?
I mean, my current recurring lesson in my life that I'm just trying to share to other people, not that even people need to hear this as much as I do, because that's like, this is my lesson that I need to learn.
Right.
But the lesson, and I tried to say this on stage at R&B Fest, but I fucked this up. Nello always says this to me, where he says, don't assume people have a problem with you until they talk to you about it. That's my issue. Like, I think because I'm like, and a lot of people in society feel like they're naturally perceptive and intuitive, and they can like read a lot of signs, or like they're really good with people and they can feel energies. They probably are right, you know, in that sense. But at the same time, like, if you try to like predict people and you try to like assume things, or you notice you're assuming things about people, like that's the kind of stuff that like can really eat away at like your soul. Like, you, like, if you're stewing in your fucking house about like, this person's mad at me, and they're not even thinking about it, like that's like as unhealthy as it gets, you know what I mean? So like, yeah, don't assume that people have a problem with you until they tell you they do.
I love that.
Yeah.
Anything else?
What's the other recurring lesson in my life? Yeah, just lead with love. Like, even when shit goes down, like, lead with love. Like, the people in your life, especially if you've worked hard at cultivating good people in your life, regardless of that, you're going to have issues with someone. You're going to run into issues. People are going to accidentally disrespect you, purposely disrespect you. Even like people are going to be selfish. You're going to be selfish. So like, at the end of the day, like, even if you have issues with someone, you have to lead with love. You have to like, at your core, care and love for them, and operate with that in mind, even if that means boundaries, distance, like repercussions, whatever. Leading with love is the key. Once you get out of that space, you've lost a lot. You've lost a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Can I share a quick anecdote with you?
Yeah, you're a great interviewer, by the way. Like, this is my favorite interview I've done. This was a breeze.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I did my first ceremony with mushrooms almost 2 weeks ago.
Nice.
Which was like beautiful.
First time doing mushrooms at all?
I've been microdosing.
Okay.
So like the very brief window, I did ayahuasca for the first time in December of last year, and like didn't realize that doing ayahuasca 4 nights in a row was a big deal until I was doing it. And I was like, oh, like this is really shooting for the mountaintop early.
When did you feel it? Like when did you feel like, oh, this is gonna be a lot by like day 2? Like
no, first night when people went out for their second cup, and like so I was in a room with 80 people all in ceremony, and so like when approximately 80 people started like vomiting and having night terrors and needing to shit badly at the same time, I was like, oh, this is a lot. And there's 3 more nights after this. And I'm only like 2 hours into the 6 hours of this first night. So like trial by fire, very beautiful, but came out of it with like such a reverence for plants and that practice and like how expanded our minds can become. Started microdosing with mushrooms, which has been like a wonderful gift in and of itself. And decided I wanted to do a full mushroom ceremony. So did this almost 2 weeks ago, and like they're nonlinear, you're aware. And like, but there was a part of it where like I felt so connected to myself and so grounded. And when I was looking out at the world, rather than seeing like that person's mean, that person's greedy, that person's this, for everyone university was like, oh, their projector just isn't working. Like it was so clear to me that like we create the reality that's in front of us. And so all of the negative like things I could attribute to people all went away. It was like, oh, their projector's just fucked. And it was so easy to be like, oh, you're fine. Like, of course I still love you. Like, there's nothing wrong with you. You're not a bad person. Like, your projector sucks.
Yeah,
like,
that's
just
well
that
said.
Shit cleaned up.
Yeah, that's just like another word for perspective in a way. Like your perspective is just a little off, or ours are just differing from each other. Like they're not necessarily aligned.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah, that's a beautiful way to put it, because it's going back to like loving people and leading with love. Like if someone wrongs you, like, and you feel as though they did wrong, like their perspective is just off. You know what I mean? If like, even if they're like, they know they did wrong, they didn't apologize, whatever, like their projector's just wrong. You know what I mean? Like they're maybe scared to apologize, whatever these traumas are. Like that's what builds your perspective in a lot of ways, 100%. Good and bad ways.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
100%. I forgot. I have one more question.
Yeah,
is there
please.
anyone in Denver you haven't collaborated with that you want to?
Yanla for sure. Yanla, Brooklyn too. Brooklyn, I have collaborated. I just like, it takes like 2-3 songs for me to like with someone
to really
to find that like a collaborative sound. So Brooklyn, I got to collaborate more with. I already did collaborate with him, but I got to shout out Holiday. Holiday is like low key my favorite artist of all time. Like no one knows about him, and that's what's crazy. Like but he's also young and just like starting putting things out. But he's one of the coldest artists in Denver. Like this dude is gonna be bigger than anyone I know, and I know that. Like at my core, Holiday's amazing. Like just natural, pulls out like verses and songs like nothing, all genres. Who else do I want to collaborate with? I gotta make more songs with Malcolm. Who's someone? JC Quinn, because we look alike. Everybody thinks we're I just want to have a twin song with him.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. Anytime I'm like wanting to collab with someone, it happens within that week. I'm planning to hit up Yanla today. Like now that next week is a little chiller. So yeah, I think that's Christian Angelo.
Okay.
47, previously known as. Oh, okay. He was right before Yanla in the R&B Fest lineup.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, he's cool. He's a dope artist. He's got that versatility. I love artists that have multi-genre versatility, and they're craving that, because I think as a producer, I like make that, so we vibe very quickly. Nice. And they're usually very versatile. So dope. Yeah, those are the artists.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Want to shoot some promo?
Yeah, let's do it.
Cool.
Let's do it.
Thank you again for tuning into this special episode. Again, this is all leading up to our performance at the Making of Denver Legends at your mom's house on September 1st, right here in Denver, Colorado. You can get tickets from the link in the video description below, or you can reach out to me personally. I would love to see you there. Thank you.